What's going on, guys? Aggronix and welcome back to week 5 of the ElysianUCL. Today we jump in to our team prep for the Tirtougas and their coach. I want to say North and I want to say coach, so I said them both at the same time. Their coach North. They have a very, very scary team, and I will show you their team right now. They have, holy crap, they have Hydreigon, Thunder's Therian, Darmanitan, Gengar, Crawdon, Espeon, Malamar, Crustle, Luxray, Zoroark, which should be there, and Mega Scizor, as it just jumps for no reason. They have a very, very scary team. And a lot of people in the league think we're not going to beat North. Now, North is 4 losses, and yeah, 0 wins, 4 losses. And he's not looking too hot. He almost beat Sorensen last week, but he made a very, very crucial misplay at the end of the game that cost him. And Sorensen is saying that, you know, North is going to beat me because I didn't play well against Sorensen. I will admit that. But a lot of things to consider. Sorensen says I didn't make a lot of plays against him. Dude, it was 12 o'clock in the night. I was really, really discouraged when I saw the Registeel and the Tirtougas. I didn't play my best that match. If I see Sorensen again, I'm going to beat him. Trust me. But because of that, people think I'm going to beat North. Also, North played very, very well against Bloom. And we haven't played Bloom yet. So you can't really... Like, we're 2 wins and 2 losses. He's 0 wins, 4 losses. I think we have the upper hand. Judging on team preview, I think we have the upper hand. He has no ground types. He has a big fire weakness in Scizor, but everything else resists it or takes neutral, so that's not really, you know, it doesn't really help. He doesn't have any reliable, he doesn't have a grass type. He doesn't have electric type except for Luxray, which isn't the most dependable electric type in the world. His team is very, very good, very, very offensive. He doesn't have a lot of walls except for Espeon with Wish, I guess. But honestly, he doesn't have any walls. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the team I'm bringing. I'm bringing Aggron, Dragonite, Milotic, Sylveon, Mach, and Heliolisk. So let's start with the captain of the Cork Cradillys, our Mega Aggron. Terminator is back once again. We brought him every single week, and every week that I've played well with Aggron, he's done the work. So, we have Avalanche, Fire Punch, Stealth Rock, and Heavy Slam, Max HP, Max Special Defense, and 4 in Defense with an Impish Nature, just to get a little more defense in there. This thing's job is to take on basically everything. It's really, really good against the Scizor. Scizor does not want to take on Aggron because when we faced Zach, he had Scizor. And the reason that Scizor was able to take out Aggron is because that Scizor was Choice Banded, and Superpower was able to do enough to where it would kill. This Scizor, it's a Mega Scizor. We know what item it has, so it's not really as big of an issue, surprisingly enough. If he runs defensive Scizor, Fire Punch does like a minimum of like 52%. So if he runs defensive, it'll actually be better. If he runs offensive, then Fire Punch does like 60 to 70 or maybe 70 to 80. So like, I don't think Scizor is too much of a problem. Aggron also takes any hit from my opponent's team. I mean any hit. Unless he runs Choice Specs Focus Blast on Hydreigon, Choice Specs Focus Blast on whatchamacallit, Tornadus. Unless he runs Choice Banded Flare Blitz on Darmanitan. Unless he sets up with Crawdon, that's the only way he can one-shot Aggron. And Avalanche does a fuck ton of Tornadus and Hydreigon. Fire Punch is really, really good against Scizor. And Heavy Slam hits a lot of things for 120 base power. Hits Espeon, Malamar, hits Crustle for super effective, hits Zoroark for a lot, hits Gengar for a lot, hits Thunderous for, I mean, not Thunderous, Tornadus for a lot. So if I don't want to over-predict with Avalanche, I can go for Heavy Slam and it's pretty safe. And the only thing that wants to take a Heavy Slam is Crawdon and Darmanitan, which is why Heavy Slam is there, and also Luxray, I guess. That's why Stealth Rock are there, to put up the rocks. He doesn't have any rocks removal except for Defog on Scizor, which is, it's kind of nice. He doesn't have any Stealth Rocker except for Crustle, which is why I think he leads with Crustle usually, with the Sturdy, which is a pretty good set. So I think I'm just going to leave with Aggron against the Crustle. Crustle cannot touch Aggron, so yeah, it'll be pretty safe. And I think Aggron is very, very important. Whether it's the most expendable mon on my team, I think so. I think Aggron, if I need something to go down, I like to let Aggron go down. But Aggron is going to do a lot of work if he doesn't prep well enough for it. Next we have Dragonite. Last week, Dragonite did incredibly against my opponent, the Sherbrooke Talonflames, aka Frank. Habenberry against the Charizard X came through clutch. Listen to this shit. If you didn't see it, Charizard X had a Dragonance up. He was a +1 attack, alright? Dragonite was at multi-scale. Charizard goes for Dragon Claw on the Habenberry multi-scale Dragonite. Literally just 30%. 30%! I was like, oh my god, Dragonite, you beast. We're running a very, very similar set. Actually, the same set. Literally the same set. But we messed up with the EVs here. This should be 80. So we're running Dragon Claw, Fire Punch, Roost, and Extreme Speed once again. Haven't buried multi-scale. I put more EVs into attack this time only because I want to be able to do a little bit more because my opponent's team is very, very bulky. Tornadus takes a good chunk from Dragon Claw. And Extreme Speed is very, very nice because while we can't hit the Gengar, we can hit the Darmanitan, we can hit the Crawdaunt, we can hit the Hydreigon. Dragon Claw, depending on his set, isn't a one-shot. If he's running Hasty, it'll definitely one-shot. But if he's running, because the reason I say Hasty is because he doesn't want to go Timid because he might run U-turn. So, if he runs Hasty, Dragon Claw is a definite one-shot. If he runs Naive, then Dragon Claw has a chance to kill, and if it doesn't, Extreme Speed pick up the kill. So, it's pretty good. Roost is there for recovery. Roost with multi-scale is really, really good, and because we don't have a reliable rapid spinner, except for Hitmonlee, which, you know, let's be honest. So I think Dragonite is very, very important here. Havenberry is obviously good against Hydreigon, but it also does pretty well against the Scizor, obviously. Scizor is defensive. Literally, Dragonite eats up the hit for days. Also does well against the Darmanitan. If the Darmanitan is Scarfed, then it poses no threat to our team. No threat. Do I think he's going to be Scarfed? No. I think he'll run Life Orb because it's the same with Hydreigon. Whether he runs Scarf, we'll see. He might want to run Scarf to outspeed Superior. Same with Hydreigon, but we're not bringing Superior and Heliolisk. But I mean, it doesn't really matter what he does. I think we'll be able to deal with it. Also, Extreme Speed, like I said, is there for the Crawdaunt. If he sets up a Dragon Dance, I need to kill that thing with Extreme Speed, and I think it does about 30 to 40%. So we'll see how it goes. Next, we have the most important defensive wall on our team. We have Aerial, the Milotic, Scald, Dragon Tail, Ice Beam, Recover, Competitive, Max HP, Max Defense. So, like I said, he doesn't have any Grass type, and the only Electric type in his team is Luxray. The only way he can hit Milotic is with Luxray, or if Gengar brings Energy Ball or Thunderbolt. And if he brings one of those moves, he has to drop either Substitute or Focus Blast. And if he doesn't bring Focus Blast, he can't hit Aggron. Thunder Blast. That's a great move. They should make that. But Scald is there because, again, he doesn't have any immunities to it. He doesn't have any immunities to it, and he doesn't even have anything that really wants to take a Scald. I mean, even if he goes into Hydreigon or Crawdaunt, a burn would be really, really nice. Dragon Tail is in case the Crawdaunt wants to set up on me. I like to Dragon Tail it out. Also, Dragon Tail is nice in case I know my opponent's going to swap, but I don't really know what to do. I could just Dragon Tail if the rocks are up. That's nice. Also, just worry against Scizor. Unless Scizor sets up a Swords Dance, that'd be the only problem. But again, we have Dragon Tail. Ice Beam is there for the Tornadus and the Hydreigon. Ice Beam does a decent amount of both of them. Unless he runs Assault Vest, Tornadus, then it's doing like 20%. But still, it's still nice damage. Competitive is there because, again, the only way he can get rid of rocks is because of default. And if we're able to get a +2 special attack with Aerial, Aerial's going to start taking lives, alright? Also, the Luxray's Intimidate. He usually brings Intimidate, and I think he will again this week because we have Hitmonlee, possible. We have Snorlax, we have Mach and Dragonite, who are actually bringing. We have a lot of offensive mons, and I think he's going to want to bring Intimidate. He might run Guts because we have Milotic, but we'll see what happens. I think Milotic is super duper important, and again, he doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with it. So I think Milotic staying alive is the most important thing in this entire battle. Next, we have Tinkerbell, our Cleric. Probably one of the most important members on our squad. Hyper Voice, Wish, Heal, Bell, Protect, Max HP, 220 in defense, 36 in special defense with a bold nature. So this thing, once again, is bringing the Cleric. We're running the same set as we always do, but honestly, there's no reason to change it up. Sylveon is great in this match because other than the Scizor and the Gengar, and the Darmanitan, I suppose. Even though we could take a Flare Blitz, but we won't take it well. But the big ones are Gengar and Scizor. We can't hit them for anything. But that's not its job. What Sylveon's job is walling Zoroark, Luxray if it's special, which we might see, because to hit the Aggron, Luxray needs to be special. If he's special, well, then Sylveon walls it. So it's like, no matter what. If he's physical, Aggron's got it. If it's special, Sylveon's got it, you know? Also walls the Hydreigon and the Tornadus. Was the Gengar if he doesn't bring Sludge Wave, which he honestly will. But Sludge Wave still doesn't do too much unless he's Life Orb, which he probably will be. we can still take one, and Hyper Voice does enough to break a sub. It does 33% minimum, so we're all good there. Also it hits everything on his team for basically neutral, except for the Gengar, the Banishing, and the Scizor. Though Sylveon does hit the Crawdaunt, does hit the Hydreigon, and does hit the Zoroark. He has 3 Dark types, which is really nice. So Sylveon had to come this week. It does really do well against this team. Scizor is the only thing that can one-shot it if it's whatchamacallit, if it's, oh, what's the word? So if he Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, well then he can definitely kill Sylveon, but if he Swords Dance, we just go on to Aggron and hope he doesn't have Superpower. And if he's running Swords Dance, he probably won't. He probably runs Swords Dance, yeah, Swords Dance, Roost, U-Turn, and Bullet Punch. Maybe run Superpower, who knows. But that's Sylveon. Next we have Creep. Now I know the second you saw this team, you were like, holy crap, that's a Muck. You're bringing Muck to an OU battle. Are you high? No, Muck is amazing. Creep is back. This is the second time we're bringing Creep. The first time we brought Creep, it was against Zac, and Creep didn't do what I wanted to do. It died to an Earthquake from Altaria, which I completely forgot Altaria could run Earthquake. I thought he would run Flamethrower for Aggron, but he ran Earthquake to hit everything, which makes sense, I suppose. But that was just a judgment call. I didn't see it coming. So Muck didn't really was able to do what I wanted it to do. This week, though, holy crap. Assault Vest, Poison Touch, Fire Punch, Poison Jab, Shadow Sneak, and Ice Punch. 208 in HP, 200 in attack, 100 in special defense with an adamant nature. This thing, guess how much? Oh my god, guess how much? Leave in the comments below. Guess how much Muck takes from a Life Orb Gengar's Shadow Ball. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It takes 30% max! Muck is such amazing! Oh my god, Muck is amazing. It also takes 52% max from a Life Orb Positive Nature Draco Meteor from Hydreigon. Life Orb, Positive Nature. What the fuck? Muck, you're amazing. And then Ice Punch does like 52% minimum as well. So, Muck is really, really awesome to smash. Not only that, it has Shadow Sneak for the Gengar that wants to set up a substitute. Now, if Gengar sets up a substitute, the game plan is just go on a Muck, let Muck die if need be, go for Shadow Sneak, break the sub, and then go into probably Healerlisk and just Thunderbolt or whatever. I don't know. But I think Muck is great in this match. I think great because I think it is great because the only thing that really, really bop it are the Damashing, obviously, but we have counters to that. The Scizor, obviously, with Bullet Punch. Obviously, Milotic takes that, there's no problem. The Crawdaunt can be annoying if it has a Swords Dance up, but, you know, we can Shadow Sneak it, you know, hope he doesn't go for Aqua Jet, try to get Poison, I don't know. Muck does really, really well against most of his team, even the Espeon, we can Shadow Sneak the Espeon, get a good 50% off, and then let Muck die, you know, it's like, I think Muck is very, very important. The only thing is that he doesn't get any reliable recovery. I couldn't run Black Sludge because then, obviously, he doesn't do his job as a special wall. So that's why I'm hoping Wish Sylveon is able to help and support Muck. We'll see what happens with that. Fire Punch is obviously there for the Scizor, Poison Jab is there for Stab, Shadow Sneak is there for the Gengar, and I'll mention the reasons I mentioned. And Ice Punch is there for the Thundurus. Shit! Tornadus and Hydreigon. I don't know why I keep saying Thundurus. Tornadus takes about 50% from Ice Punch, and so does Hydreigon. So, did I say Thundurus? I meant Tornadus. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I think Creep is very, very important, and I hope he does justice this week, because looking at the calcs, he's looking pretty powerful. And finally, making another return this week, we have SBO, the Heliolisk. Now, Heliolisk we brought against Orson, and Heliolisk didn't do what I wanted to do, because Stealth Rock, Life Orb, Will-O-Wisp, Infestation. Those dwindling, that's 40% every turn. You know, that's like, that was dumb. That was dumb of me to bring Life Orb. This week, though, Heliolisk is here rocking Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Signal Beam, and Hyper Voice with the Dry Skin. Now, Heliolisk is great in this match because the big scare for me is Crawdon's Aqua Jet. And Scizor's Bullet Punch, I guess you could say. That's the only form of priority he has on his team. Heliolisk takes both of those. Bullet Punch still does a lot. If he runs offensive, Bullet Punch does about 40% max, which is still a lot. But again, if he runs defensive, no problem. Crawdon's Aqua Jet, obviously we have Dry Skin, so that's no problem. And Thunderbolt hits everything on his team, like I said, because he has no ground type. We can freely Volt Switch every single time, which is awesome. Signal Beam is there for the Hydreigon and the Espeon, I guess. It's really there for Hydreigon. I didn't run Focus Blast because I know my luck. I know I'll miss. And the only thing it would hit is the Crawdaunt and the Zoroark. And it's like, you know, Signal Beam does that as well. Even though I Thunderbolt the Crawdaunt every day of the week. But you know what I mean. And I didn't run Focus Blast because the Gengar can come in if he predicts that. and also the Tornadoes, if you realize I'm scarfed. Hyper Voice is there because after the Scizor and the Gengar, after the Gengar is dead and the Scizor is low enough, I can pretty much lock myself with a Hyper Voice and just start killing things over and over again, as long as I dwindle things down. That's why rocks are super duper important in this match, and I'm hoping that Aggro can do its job and come in and put up the rocks. SBO is another very, very important mon. Like I said, the only things that really take on SBO are the Hydreigon, if I'm locked into Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. Even though if I'm locked into Volt Switch, I'm getting out anyway. So, like I said, usually I'm going to click Volt Switch. There's no reason not to. I've been criticized recently in the league for not playing smart and just clicking moves. I wouldn't say that necessarily. When, like for example, Milotic. If there's no reason not to Scald, I'm going to click Scald, you know? If there's no reason not to click Volt Switch, I'm going to click Volt Switch. Now, a few things that I wanted to say to you guys before we log this off. Golurk, I wanted to bring Golurk really, really badly, but I couldn't because it just didn't do well. Golurk last week put in the finest of work last week, and I'm super, super happy about Golurk. You know, the substitute was great against Chansey and my opponent's team, and a lot of people are saying that North is going to beat us this week, and honestly, I understand that people want North to win because, you know, he's lost 4 times, apparently he's a great battler and he deserves a win, but I'm not going to roll over for this guy. We need a win. We need to show that the Cork City Cradillys are a huge contender for the playoffs, and so far we're 2-2. If we win this match, we're 3-2. Going into the bye week, we're 3-2. Then we have 4 games after the bye week. If we win all 4 of those games, we're guaranteed to get into the playoffs. Guaranteed. Sorsen is pretty sure he's going to go through, unless he loses all his battles, which is pretty much impossible at this stage. Bloom and Six Paths are our huge mountains. Also Joey, there are huge obstacles, and Swishy is also very, very scary as well. So there are a lot of very scary matchups coming up. So losing this battle is a no-no. This is the easiest battle we have coming up. Not saying North is easy, it's just team matchup. We have an advantage over North, and we can't let this battle slip out of our hands. We need to win this battle, and I think your Cork City Cradillys can do it. That's all from me, Aggronix. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to slam the like button down below first. We will have the battle coming up in the next few hours or so, and hopefully your Cork City Cradillys, I'm stuttering like a bitch, can pull out with a win. I'm super, super nervous. And if you guys are supporting, make sure to leave a like down below. It really means a lot. Subscribe to become a member of the Aggronites today. And with that being said, I'm out of here. I hope you guys are supporting. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!